Mayor Lee and members of council, we are now live on Facebook. Mayor Lee, you prepared to open the meeting?
Yes.
Okay, which I guess, please
All
you call the
right.
special to order.
All right, I'm ready to go, Dan. The special meeting of Roanoke City Council for March 27, 2020 is hereby called to order, and I'm going to ask our clerk, Ms. Susan McCoy, to please call the roll.
Ms. Davis.
Here.
Ms. Osborne.
Here.
Ms. Price.
Here.
Ms. White Boyd.
Here.
Mr. Bestfitch.
Here.
Vice Mayor Cobb.
Here.
And Mayor Lee.
Here. And all members of council are present by electronic communication means, and I declare that a quorum is present and as permitted by Virginia Code Section 2.2-3708.3. I want to thank all of you for making yourselves available this afternoon for this special meeting. And I would like to begin by sharing with you the purpose of this special meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to address the state of emergency declared by Governor Ralph S. Northam on March 12, 2020, pursuant to Executive Order Number 51 regarding the COVID-19 pandemic disaster, and supplemented by Executive Order Number 53 issued on March 23, 2020. This special meeting will allow City Council to consider measures in response to the COVID-19 pandemic disaster, including the continuity of city government pursuant to Virginia Code Section 15.2-1413. Pursuant to Section 10 of the City Charter, the city manager called this special meeting of City Council by letter dated March 25th, 2020. Notice of this special meeting of City Council was provided to members of council by delivery of the city manager's letter to members of City Council, together with the agenda and proposed measures in hand and by electronic mail, more than 12 hours prior to today's 2 p.m. notice of the special meeting of City Council. Together with the agenda and proposed measures was posted on the city's website on March 25th, 2020, and made available to the public through My Roanoke, the city's Facebook page, and other social media. Pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3708.3, this special meeting of City Council is being conducted by electronic communication means. COVID-19 makes it impractical and unsafe for a quorum of City Council to physically assemble in one location during this disaster. Each member of council has access through the Zoom meeting platform and can participate in this proceeding. The city has provided the public with information to allow the public access to observe this special meeting through live broadcast on RBTV, live streaming on Facebook, and posted on YouTube. The city has provided public notice of this process to the public on Thursday, March 26, 2020, in several methods, including a virtual press conference held at 2 p.m. City staff, including the city manager, city clerk, city attorney, and technical staff, are present in the council chamber and are participating in this special meeting. City Council will not be receiving public comment as the proceedings today do not require a public hearing. This special meeting of City Council is for the purpose of conducting essential business related to the emergency created by the COVID-19 pandemic disaster. To facilitate this process today, to ensure that all council members and the public can follow these proceedings, I ask that whenever a member speaks, including making a motion, to first state the member's name, then make the motion or second. At this time, I ask members whether they have any questions about this process. And if not, I ask the city manager to advise if he has any comments.
Mayor, this is Bob. No further comments on my part. Do any of the council members have any questions about this instruction or that information provided by the mayor? Mayor does not look like questions, so if you want to proceed.
I'll proceed and we'll go down to item 3A, which is the consideration of the adoption of an emergency ordinance effectuating temporary changes in certain deadlines, modifying public meeting practices and procedures to address continuity of operations associated with the pandemic disaster, authorizing the city manager to set the date and times of public hearings for the FY 2021 budget and other matters, establishing an effective date, and dispensing with the second reading of this emergency ordinance by title. I need a motion.
So moved. This is Michelle.
Juna Osborne, second.
All right. I'll ask our clerk to please read the title paragraph.
An emergency ordinance effectuating temporary changes in certain deadlines, modifying public meeting and public hearing practices and procedures to address continuity of operations associated with pandemic disaster, authorizing the city manager to set the dates and time of public hearings for the FY 2021 and other matters, establishing an effective date and dispensing with the second reading of this emergency ordinance by title.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments by members of council? Hearing none, I'll ask, I can't see, so hearing none, I will ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Ms. Davis,
Aye.
Ms. Osborne,
Aye.
Ms. Price,
Aye.
Ms. White Boyd,
Aye.
Mr. Bestfitch,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cobb,
Aye.
and Mayor Lee.
Aye. And the vote is unanimous and the ordinance passes. All right, item B is a consideration of a resolution repealing resolution number 41698-031620, adopted on March 16, 2020, and adopting a restated written policy for participation in city council agenda meetings through electronic communication. This is a resolution. I need a motion.
Trish White Boyd, move the resolution.
Bill Bestfitch, second.
Madam Clerk, will you please read the title paragraph?
A resolution repealing resolution number 41698-031620, adopted on March 16, 2020, and adopting a restated written policy for participation in the city council agenda meetings through electronic communication.
All right, are there any questions or comments by members of council?
This is Bill Bestfitch. I have two questions. That first is just to get a brief explanation of the difference between this policy and the policy we adopted on the 16th.
This is Dan Callahan. The change, Mr. Bestfitch, arose actually from a comment that you made on March 16th with regard to the limitation on participation at meetings. The original policy was not clear that the limitation of 2 meetings per year per member is limited to personal reasons, and that members can participate in more meetings electronically for either health reasons or for these type of emergencies. So we wanted to clarify that. So the only change is with regard to paragraph 3 of the original policy, and we just restated the entire policy.
Thank you for making that clear, Mr. Callahan. And my second question is, in terms of the maintaining the continuity of government, what options do we have for example, the Planning Commission, Board of Zoning Appeals, and so forth, if it's really unsafe for them to assemble for a meeting?
The first measure you dropped in under 3A addresses some of those issues in terms of allowing some remote types of meetings and adjusting the ability of the body to either have some remote and other issues. What city administration has done in trying to address the issue is that there are scheduled no public hearings for the month of April. And this will give us the opportunity to reflect and revise what we're doing. In the first measure that you adopted, one of the provisions is that the city manager can set the new hearings for the budget, the HUD 5-year plan related public hearing, and the hearing with regard to the real estate property tax rate due to the increase in the assessed value. You may recall that the city manager provided you with the schedule several months ago that you endorsed, where the public hearing would have occurred on April 3rd. That public hearing will now be at the determination of the city manager, likely to occur sometime in May.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, are there any more comments or questions by members of council? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Davis,
Aye.
Ms. Osborne,
Aye.
Ms. Rice,
Aye.
Ms. White Boyd,
Aye.
Mr. Bestfitch,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cobb,
Aye.
Mayor Lee.
Aye, and the vote is unanimous and the resolution passes. Item C is consideration of an ordinance ratifying and approving the suspension of fares for transit services provided by Greater Roanoke Transit Company, Ellis Valley Metro, which authorizes the city manager to take certain actions and dispensing with the second reading of this ordinance by title. There is an ordinance.
Anita James Price, I move the ordinance.
Michelle
Kim
Davis,
Yes.
and I second.
Who are you? Who made the second?
Michelle Davis.
Okay. I'll ask clerk to please read the title paragraph.
An ordinance ratifying and approving the suspension of fares for transit services provided by Greater Roanoke Transit Company, doing business as Valley Metro, authorizing the city manager to take certain actions and dispensing with the second reading of this ordinance by title.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments on this item?
Yes, this is Anita, and I do have a comment and a question. And first, I want to say thank you for taking action to provide this service to the ridership of the Roanoke Valley. And I would point out that this begins today, the suspension of fares. I just want to ask the question. It's to the best of my knowledge, as of right now, there is no impact on the routes of our buses, and I just wanted to ask that question.
Yeah, Ms. Price, that is correct. At this point, all of the routes are running as is typical on the schedule. Obviously, should this go on for an extended period, that we continue to reevaluate. But right now, there are no changes. And one other point I will make too is it was mentioned that March 27th was the effective date of this temporary action. April 24th right now is the established end date of that action, pending further action.
Thank you. And I also want to just, as far as publicly this is going, to just thank our bus drivers, the operators, and the staff for going beyond, above and beyond the call of duty. And I know that they're taking actions to keep those buses running as much as possible for those essential employees that still must get to work, and to also sanitize the buses. So thank you all for your diligence.
Mr. Mayor,
Is there any other comments, questions?
yes, Mayor Lee, this is Trish White Boyd. I just have a question about the number of riders that are allowed. Has that changed, or have they limited the number of riders per bus, or that it however many gets on?
No, Ms. White Boyd, this is Bob again. No, there are currently no changes in that number of riders that are on the bus. As you know, I think all the council members know, part of the reason, maybe the main reason for doing this, is to try to accelerate boarding processes so there's not a congregation there at the doors. Certainly, I think passengers themselves are separating to the extent they're able to on the buses, but at this point, there are no limits on the ridership on the buses. And, again, we continue to evaluate. We would not anticipate that changing in the foreseeable future.
Are they still, is there any way that they can load from the rear instead of from the front near the drivers, or is that just impossible with the way it's set up, the buses are set up?
Yeah, there's a couple of answers to that. One of those is that the buses, the accessible component of the buses is the front of the bus. So anyone that has any kind of limitations, obviously you want to make that available. We have an obligation to ensure that that's always available. There are some of the older buses that actually have some structural issues, physical reasons that the door actually doesn't open. It only opens for entry, it only opens for exit. That's on some of those older models associated with it as well. And this approach was actually the approach that we discussed between the Valley Metro management and the union representation as the best approach. It doesn't mean every operator necessarily agrees with that decision, but that was arrived at jointly with the representatives from the union.
Thank you, Mr. Cowell. I appreciate that. And the efforts, like Ms. Price said, the efforts that have been made thus far have been really good. I just had those couple of concerns, and I appreciate you taking the time to answer those.
Thank you.
Mayor Lee, Michelle Davis.
Okay.
Thank you.
Michelle.
I just wanted to take a moment to make sure that everybody was aware that one of the reasons we're able to do this is because of expected grant funding that GRTC has applied for to cover the loss in fares that's being provided as temporary relief or as an emergency effort. And that's helpful, obviously, to have that available to us. I wanted to ask Mr. Cowell or Mr. Callahan, is there a limit? Do we know yet, has there been a limit placed on how much we can draw from that grant source, either in duration of timing or in total amount?
Yeah, Ms. Davis, we have the assistant city manager from Stonewall talk about that item. As you referenced, Valley Metro has received some funding from DRPT. I'm going to let Sherman kind of talk through the details of that.
Councilmember Davis, Mayor Lee, and members of council, it is not actually a grant. It is a special allocation of funding from the Department of Rail and Public Transportation that is being allocated to all transit systems within the Commonwealth of Virginia. So it is a fixed amount.
Okay, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Michelle?
And Ms. Davis, just to clarify as well, and again, this information has been provided previously. It is estimated on average, it's about $5,600 per revenue day is what it costs for this fair. So obviously, depending on how long this period goes, at some point, we'll have to evaluate as well.
50 days.
50 days, so remember, 50 days basically is how long the current funding that we receive will cover that operational loss.
Thank you. And yes, Mayor Lee, that answers my question. I am grateful that we have this opportunity. Part of my understanding of why DRPT is offering this money too is to help reduce exposure for the bus drivers themselves so that there's not as much direct contact with the riders, you know, as far as exchanging fares or exchanging tickets would be normally expected of them. So I'm grateful that we have the opportunity to try and help protect those essential workers and continue to provide service to folks who need it. So thank you all.
Mayor
All
Lee,
right, any other?
Mayor
Yes.
Lee, Vice Mayor Cobb, just one follow-up question, and Ms. White Boyd and Ms. Price alluded to this. Can you talk through briefly, Bob, what protocol precautions are being taken regarding sanitization of the buses? We talked about, you know, shifting to no fare to reduce crowding at the fare box, but out of concern for riders as well as the drivers, can you just talk briefly about what kind of precautions are being taken?
Sure, I'll start and then Sherman may fill in as well. So obviously the buses under a normal business day are cleaned at the end of the day as well, but there are additional steps being taken both in terms of frequency of cleaning and sanitizing as well as the extent of that sanitizing. Also at the Campbell facility where the chairs are in the seating area, those are being rotated so that they can be cleaned as well, actually physically removed, cleaned, and brought back in. So there are those steps that are taking place. I believe there have been some steps taken with the drivers as well, Sherman. No, okay. Anything else that was associated? So those are the steps that are being taken right now in terms of the additional sanitizing and cleaning with the bus. And we'll again continue to monitor that. Should there be anything to do anything differently, certainly we'll do so.
Okay, so there's no additional information regarding the drivers?
No. So right now, the drivers, again, the focus is trying to actually limit the time in which the passengers are actually in the same distance of the drivers so they can maintain that distance and that separation. And so that again is part of the reason why the no fare piece is that we can move through that pretty swiftly as we go through.
All right, is that all, Vice Mayor? You got any more questions, or does that answer?
No, it didn't fully answer my question, but it overall answered my questions. Thank you.
Okay. All right. If there are no further questions, I will ask our clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Davis,
Aye.
Ms. Osborne,
Aye.
Ms. Price,
Aye.
Ms. White Boyd,
Aye.
Mr. Bestfitch,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Cobb,
Aye.
and Mayor Lee.
And the vote is unanimous, and the ordinance passes. All right, item number 4. If there being no further business set forth in this special meeting, this special meeting of City Council is, before I adjourn it, is there anything, or Dan, is there anything we need to cover, anything further?
Mr. As Dan Kelly and members of council know, you've done an excellent job, and I will just turn to our driver of this is Tiffany, that they can sign off after the adjourn. Yes. So you can disconnect after the mayor adjourns the meeting, and thank you so much for making this possible. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. All right, have a safe and blessed weekend, everybody. And this meeting of City Council is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.